And CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang joins us now. Weijia, thanks for being with us. President Trump and the First Lady, they head to Texas tomorrow to survey some of that flood damage. What are we expecting from that visit?
Nancy, anytime a president goes to visit a disaster area or the aftermath, they have to walk a very delicate line of showing their presence, showing that they care and want to support the community, but also not getting in the way. And so CBS News has learned that he plans to meet with emergency responders as well as the families of some of the victims. And from there, he will head to his golf club in New Jersey. He's not expected to be there for an extended period of time, but certainly he will get a sense of the wreckage and just how devastating this was for Texas. Nancy.
And Weijia, I want to ask you about trade. President Trump is threatening to put a 50% tariff on Brazilian imports, citing the criminal case against former President Bolsonaro. Why does Trump feel so strongly about this particular case?
Well, first of all, they are, friends. They have a relationship, and Bolsonaro has been known as Trump of the tropics. And the president has previously and certainly right now expressed support of him. And so the reason why, and he's not, shying away from it, he is threatening to put a 50% tariff on Brazil is because Bolsonaro was indicted. He is accused of an alleged coup against his opponent. And the president, our president, I should say, tweeted or posted on X, "Leave Bolsonaro alone." Clearly, he wants this country to drop any charges against Bolsonaro, who is once again an ally of Trump's. What's really interesting, Nancy, is that, one reason Trump always cites for wanting to have tariffs is to shrink any deficits between the U.S. and other countries. But there's actually not one with Brazil. And that means that Brazil imports more American goods than the U.S. Brings in from Brazil. And so the fact that, they could face a 50% tariff, which is one of the higher ones we've heard, really sends a message from President Trump, a political message, that is.
Absolutely. And Weijia, I also want to ask you about the Trump administration's decision to pause and then resume weapons shipments to Ukraine. What are you hearing about the president's involvement in that decision? There's been a lot of back and forth.
And there's still not exact clarity about what the president knew and when he knew it. But a U.S. official tells CBS News the point now that they're trying to stress is that some munitions have already started flowing back to Ukraine. And the president himself said that the U.S. would continue to send military weapons. Now, there is still this outstanding question about how is it possible that the president did not know who ordered the halt or all of the details about it. And we also have learned that the State Department was cut out of that decision-making as well. Remember, Marco Rubio, who's Secretary of State, is also the acting national security advisor. And the explanation is that, this was not a blanket halt. This was not a change in U.S. policy to support Ukraine. It was part of a broader review to make sure that American interests were protected and to make sure that all the stockpiles were safe. And so that is why the president, days after this was announced, stressed that they would be sending weapons back to Ukraine. But you're right, Nancy, there are still a lot of questions about that pause, even if it was brief.
Weijia, always a pleasure to see you. Thank you very much.